Qantas is now flying 3 Airbus A380s around the world. Qantas now has 3 Airbus A380-800s in passenger service and is expecting 2 more of the big jumbos to return to service shortly. The A380s are now plying the Sydney-Los Angeles and, temporarily, the Melbourne-Los Angeles routes. Next week, the planes return to the Sydney-Singapore-London route. It is a full schedule that will keep the handful of A380s working hard. 3 Qantas A380s in passenger service. Per Australian Aviation, VHOC Fergus McMaster and VHOC John Dugan Reginald Dugan are already in service on the Sydney-Los Angeles run. Qantas returned the A380s to the route in January, and they now serve the city pair in conjunction with Boeing 787-9 Dreamliners. Earlier this month, VHOC Bert Hinkler returned to Australia and has since begun flying on the Melbourne-Los Angeles run. As reported in last month, the Qantas A380 will operate selected QF9394 flights on the Melbourne-Los Angeles city pair this month before returning the jumbo to the route permanently later this year. The Melbourne departures are a warm-up for June's main act, the resumption of A380 flights on the flagship QF half flights to and from London Heathrow. Qantas will resume those next week. When talking about those Melbourne flights last month, Qantas confirmed to Simple Flying that they plan to have 5 Airbus A380s back in service by the end of June. VHOC Hudson Fish had also recommenced passenger service earlier this year but went to Abu Dhabi on May 10 for a cabin refurbishment, where it remains. A minimum of 4 A380s needed to maintain planned Qantas A380 schedules. Qantas has a mix of refurbished and unrefurbished A380s, all of which were promptly parked in California. When Qantas grounded international services in March 2020, Qantas made an unusual decision to return an unrefurbished plane to service when they kept some refurbished A380s parked. Qantas has previously advised it takes 6 to 8 weeks to refurbish an A380's interior. VHOC Hudson Fish is 5 weeks into that timeline, so it should be back in Australia by the end of the month. Assuming everything goes smoothly, Qantas needs 2 A380s to maintain the Sydney-London city pair on the planned daily basis. Flying time is around 21 hours, so there won't be much downtime. It takes roughly 14 hours to fly the Sydney-Los Angeles route, meaning another pair of A380s can handle daily flights there. The 5th A380 can offer some additional capacity on Los Angeles flights covered by the Qantas Dreamliners and also act as a standby aircraft. Which Qantas A380 would be the 5th to return to service? It's a bit of a guessing game. 6 of the 8 remaining A380s in the Qantas fleet remain in the deep freeze in Victorville. But VHOC Charles Ulm is parked at LAX, and VHOC Reginald Ansett is in Abu Dhabi, having flown there from Los Angeles in March. VHOC isn't in Abu Dhabi for a refurbishment. The plane already sports the most up-to-date Qantas cabin interior, but Qantas frequently has heavy maintenance on its aircraft done there. It's not a sure bet, but if you were the speculative type, VHOC could be the 5th Qantas A380 returning to service.